See. Hey, howdy, folks. Welcome back. We are very excited to be here for the X-Men Mutant Power Hour. I'm Jaci Butler. You might also know me as Jaci Plays. And guys, I'm fangirling a little bit because I'm here with some amazingly talented voice actors and an amazingly talented writer. And yeah, we're here for the X-Men Power Hour. So would you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves and
I think
tell
we
a
should
little bit
introduce
about?
each other. I'll
Oh
introduce
yeah, you
Dave.
could do that.
Up there, does it look the same to you guys as it does to me? Is he up there in the corner like that? No, okay. So
No, I
somewhere
think we're
around
all
there
different. Yeah.
is David Hayter. David Hayter, great friend extraordinaire, brilliant voice actor, brilliant writer, X-Men writer, game player. Hopefully a game writer one day, I would wish, but we'll see,
Yes.
we'll see, we'll see. Incredible writer, warrior nun, things you haven't read yet that are the best things I've ever read. X-Men, I mean, Dave, give us some of your top 5 favorite credits.
I wrote the movies X-Men, X-Men 2, Watchmen,
Mhm.
Scorpion King. I'm Solid Snake on the voiceover side.
One of us,
And,
one of us.
and my career, one of my earliest credits was I was Captain America on the mid-90s Spider-Man, where I met Jennifer Hale, aka the Black Cat.
We had so much fun.
But I'm not going to introduce her because then it'll just be she and I. So I'm going to introduce Holly and JP. You'll have to tell them your last names because JP and I only met once, and I was pretty drunk, and Holly and I have not met at all. But they are the incredible voices of Morph and Jubilee from X-Men '97,
Yes.
and I've no doubt that they have many, many other stellar credits.
They're brilliant.
Their brilliance is clear writ large across the screen. JP.
Absolutely incredible.
Thank you, David.
Thank
Very
you.
kind.
It's Chow and
Carliac.
woohoo.
Mhm.
And to introduce Goddess on Earth, Jennifer Hale,
Ah.
who I have admired since Felicia Hardy, and I still
Oh my
channel.
God.
And
Oh my God.
and also Ivy in Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And something else that I just recognize, because anytime I watch a cartoon, I'll watch Justice League Unlimited. I'm like, oh, that's Jennifer. Oh, that's Jennifer with an Australian accent.
Yeah. I did like 5 recurrent characters on that one. It was crazy.
Yeah,
That was
brilliant.
crazy. Thank you. Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Yeah, I could gush about every one of you. I'm sitting here, I'm like, JP's this, and JP's that, and he did this, and he did that, and he was so good. And I keep calling him when I run into his shows and going, JP, you're so good.
Thank you, Jean Grey. I mean, Jen Hale.
Well, I'm so excited to be talking with you guys today. I actually binge watched X-Men '97 for like the third time in the last 2 days. Because I was like, I can't miss anything. I gotta watch the whole thing again. And it's just so it's wonderful. I'm a huge nerd. I have always loved comics and superheroes. And I was born in the '90s, but I grew up with like all my family was older, so like I really grew up with like '90s cartoons and everything. And this show is just so much nostalgia, and I love it so much. I could just watch it every day. But you guys know it's no secret that X-Men is one of like the most iconic like franchises and universes like in the world. Between like the comics and the games and the TV shows and the films. And it's definitely like a big legacy and kind of like big shoes to fill. I would feel like I would be so nervous. So I guess can you guys tell us a little bit about uh, uh, like when you learned that you were joining the show and what your first thoughts were when you got like the call or whatever and how you felt about playing these roles?
I cleared my throat, so I think I have to talk now.
That's exactly what that means.
Excuse me. I Well, as the story's been told about like our audition process and stuff like that, so suffice to say, I knew what it was when I had the audition sides, and so you send your drop your letters down the well, and you wait and see if you ever hear back. You may not. There was the test record, and then I went in for the test record, and super exciting. Again, you go home and wait, and you may never hear anything again. I was sitting in holding for a series, actually based around League of Legends. So later around 7, we'll be paying attention to Yasuo. But I was sitting in holding, and I was just checking my email, and I saw the subject line had the show, and it you know how it says like the text preview before you click on the email, and I saw that it said I think it said congratulations, and I was sitting and holding, and I went, oh my god, and people were like, what's going on, what's wrong, nothing. Because you can't say anything for like the next 3 years, 2 years, right? Which is then what happened. I just went like, oh, I booked something that I wanted. Okay, thanks. Bye. Talk to you next time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Trying to remember if hearing about it. I mean, same story, deeply coded script, which sides, which I mean, I knew the casting director, so I called her up and said, "Is this what I think it is?" Yes. Oh, okay. And I knew from the beginning that Morph was a non-binary character, which was super important to me. And I just kind of put myself into it, Also got a call back, also did a test record, and all of them were just really warm rooms. But this was happening in 2021, so we were still pretty pandemic-y and just doing stuff from home. So everything felt sort of like a nothing burger until it suddenly was something. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the actual impact of what this is or how big it felt was until the premiere happened, and we saw not only that for the first time that we actually got to meet each other as a cast. I've known Jen for a while, but and I've known Ray for a while and AJ for a bit, but I didn't know most of everybody else, and just getting to share that together, and then also the fan response was just, it was massive. It was so unexpected. As much as I kind of knew like, oh well, this was a really popular show in the 90s, of course this is going to be a big deal, but you have no idea until you actually see it on screen, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, we're in for something.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I was reading. I mean, I knew exactly what I was reading for, but there's so many of us that have been Gene, and I've been Gene in a few other places, and I don't get my hopes up. I just don't. I'm like, there's a lot of good talent out there, and I don't know how this is gonna go. And then I showed up for the session, and then there was a point where we had done the whole series absolutely pitch perfect, true to the original, and then we got called in to re-record, and I was like, oh, I might not be in this show anymore. We'll see. You just stop getting attached. You're like, okay, well, it's going to go for the best, whatever happens. And then we updated the style of acting, so which made it super fun, weaving those 2 decades together. And one of the things I love about the show is so much of the team watched the show growing up, and they were huge fans when they were younger. And it just makes it incredible. And then I have a special place for this in my heart because my friend Dave's story around the movie, which is pretty great. If there's time for him to tell that story, that's the best story ever. So yeah, I was absolutely thrilled. Well, I actually, side note, I wasn't going to be at the premiere because I didn't realize it was the premiere. I had like all this stuff booked. I was supposed to be in another place that day. And I ended up getting a phone call a week before about something related to the show. And I asked if there was going to be a premiere, and they're like, oh no, that thing is the premiere. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah. So I rearranged to be there, and I'm so glad I did. It was incredible. It was just incredible to be there and be around all the fans, and Dave and his wife came with me, and it was so great. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was to audition. So, I didn't go through the same emotional ordeal. For me, it was just another Monday. Just kidding. So she came into town and she said, "You want to come to this premiere?" And I thought, well, that seems important. And so we did, and it was amazing. I was blown away by the show, and I'll just say I did not really watch the first iteration of the show. I was already a struggling actor at that point, and I had things to mention too. I thought it was good. I thought little kid show is sort of
Uh-oh, I think David's lagging a bit. We can't hear you, David,
Ah,
unfortunately.
shoot. We're
It's
losing
cutting in and out, yeah.
So,
But you're in a great pose right now.
Yeah. It froze in a wonderful spot. Oh no.
I think I caught that he said he
Can you
didn't
hear me
watch
now?
the original.
Wait, I think he may be back. Are we good
Yes.
now?
Nope. Maybe disconnect
Okay.
and reconnect.
Yeah.
Somewhere I know the chat's telling us what to do.
Yeah.
I'm switching internets again.
Are you?
Okay.
See if I can see anything.
I don't know. Am I back?
I think so.
Yes. And I'm trying to see that comic behind you on the wall.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, of course.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can
Yes.
hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, sorry, my internet.
That's okay.
Yes. Yes, I just, but I was blown away by the show. I went to the premiere and it was really great. And all the actors were amazing. And then we all went out to the Roosevelt Hotel and had a bunch of mutant themed drinks, and it was great.
Oh, I love that.
And then that comic book is X-Men 133, signed by Chris Claremont, and it's the one where he takes his claws and puts them on either side of a guy's neck and says, "You want to go for 3?" And
I love it.
and I took that moment and put it into the movie to introduce the claws in the first
So
X-Men.
great.
Beautiful.
So great. I love that story so much.
Somewhere in this giant mess, I have a Kitty Pryde it's signed by Chris Claremont. It's like Kitty Pryde and Caliban getting married, but
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, we owe it all to Chris Claremont and John Byrne,
Genius.
who really, and Stan Lee, of course, but Chris and John really defined what the current iteration of X-Men is, and I certainly would not have a career without them.
That's amazing. If you guys are just now tuning in, welcome to NAVA Voices. We are our whole thing today is and I'm very honored to be a part of this just little piece of it. We're raising funds to ensure that human voices like these incredible human voices here stay in art, stay in video games and in TV shows and movies that you see, and that they don't get replaced by AI, and that we get to, like, voice actors get to keep their rights to their own voice. So please, if you haven't yet, or if you have and you're feeling extra generous, we'd love it if you guys donated. We're really close to 5,000. So it would be really cool if we hit 5,000 during this hour. You can donate. The link is in the chat right now if you're watching on Twitch, or if you're watching on my stream over on YouTube, I have it in the pinned comment. Please donate. I know it's hard times for everyone, but if you have a couple dollars to spare or a coin to toss, you can. We would really appreciate it. So let's try to get to $5,000. I'm actually going to be. Let me pull it up. I am going to be attempting to make your characters in The Sims while we answer some more questions.
I'm donating right now while we're here online, because I need to do that.
Amazing. So these, so I play The Sims a lot. And also, chat, if you have any questions for these amazing actors and writers, please put them in the chat. I will try to relay those. But yeah, I'm gonna attempt to make you guys, or your characters in The Sims. These are some random Sims that came up, and I'm going to morph them into your characters. So, but
That's so funny.
I guess while we do that, I have another question for you guys. So, you guys kind of talked about the process of, getting that call and how it felt and everything. Um, but do any of y'all feel like, because these characters have been around forever, for a long time at least, and we've seen many different versions of these characters, were there any specific choices that Jennifer, JP, Holly, that you guys made when bringing them to life on this particular show on X-Men 97? Were there any choices you made, or like research things you did behind the scenes? Were you brushing up on the comics, like, or let me know your process, and
Well,
I'll
this
start doing this.
Yeah, this universe is it's so beloved, and I think and I keep going back to Dave, but it really was that movie that kicked it back out into the world in a huge way. And so it's been, we've been in this universe a few times, and I always defer to the team. Like, what does the team want? what version, what flavor of the X-Men are we today? And for this one, it took a ton of guide, sort of my compass point was Catherine and Catherine's original work, and that's where everything started, and then it went through the team, and then through our top level members of the team, and to kind of refine it and tweak it, and Meredith, our voice director, because that's the thing you guys don't realize, like, man, voice directors are everything. Without them, good lord, they allow us to be multiple characters or occupy multiple things, and still we trust that they know where the lane lines are, and they're not going to let us veer outside of them. They're amazing. So yeah, those are like my guiding things that I rely on, because I'm pretty steeped in the lore from various other things. Yeah.
At the time, the primary ask, like, as an actor, you're trying to, you want to understand the assignment, right? And you want to do what they asked for, which at the time was a voice match. So they were not asking you to bring all your knowledge of these characters from the comics and the lore. They were asking you to match Allison Court in my case. So that's what I did. And so in the audition, the non-directed one before callbacks, the initial thing just at home that you record and just throw down the well, I knew this voice. I had been inadvertently preparing for this job from the time I was 8, like on the playground. Although truly what I was doing then was trying to imitate Lenore. But so there were, like, bossy contests of, like, no, that's not what it sounds like. It's more like, does a little babe eat like, there's so I had a lot of practice already imitating this voice just in play. And then, bringing that back for the audition, and playing it back. I've talked about this before, but of course that's the trap, is then to be so focused on the voice match that you forget to do the acting. So, trying to, that initial record was not any new script. It was just lines from the pilot of animated series, so Night of the Sentinels. So trying to just sound like you mean what you say. The voice maybe sound like her, but the delivery, don't necessarily just try to copy her acting choices, because you will, presumably at a certain point, there, what you're auditioning for is a new show with new script, and you need to be able to show that you can do something when you don't have the first track already laid down to imitate. Them were the choices, were to try to just act the lines. And then when it came to the test record, which was new script, it was the first episode of 97. It was doing your work as an actor and understanding this character as I knew her from the series. So I was not trying to, again, bring all different parts of Jubilee and from the comics in different versions and stuff.
Yeah.
I was going for that version, because that, to my understanding, was the assignment. So then, because as Jennifer says, it took the creatives a while to dial in what tone they wanted, what flavor they were ultimately going to be going for. And so those choices, the choices that we were then sort of freed to make, came when they kind of came back and said, like, we leaned really hard into voice match. I think now let's just take those leashes off and just go. And particularly with Jubilee's character, I'm talking so much. Particularly with Jubilee's character,
You're good.
because he is at such a cusp, between animated series and 97. Just age wise, just phase of life wise, she it doesn't really have to be the same, and so you can make tons of those choices just based on what she's going to be experiencing in life, the maturity that she will turn 18 during the course of this show, and that's wholly unexplored territory, at least vocally. It's in the comics, she's been different ages.
sense.
But yeah, this is looking very cool, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
I'm trying to get the iconic yellow jacket, and there's not the exact one here, but I'm working on it.
Trench coat. Yeah, I think mine Morph was kind of interesting because he was played previously by Ron Rubin beautifully, but there wasn't such a mandate that it had to be a sound-alike for Ron. They wanted to laugh. That was key.
Yeah.
But other than that, it wasn't so much of like you have to like they I didn't have to do a test script where it was necessarily like matching. At least I don't think. I don't remember that. But anyway, so as we were finding the voice, the laugh was there, but it really was more just about finding a grounded place to tell, use to tell Morph's story, especially now being the non-binary character and everything. There was a lot of stuff going on with Morph, and also Morph has had a very like telenovela like wild history.
I love that.
So it was kind of nice to just like be able to ground him in you're a shapeshifter and you do all these wacky things, but for the most part you're just a pretty normal person cracking jokes, enjoying the company of your friends and going on the ride of all of their wild and crazy adventures. So it was just a lower key thing, and I was just doing my voice. We didn't layer anything on top of it.
That's awesome. Guys, we just hit $5,200. We're over the 5,000 mark. That's amazing. Oh, they just got a match. That's amazing.
Excellent.
Yay. Very, very
Excellent.
exciting.
You guys are
Let's
the best.
see. I'm looking at some of the chat to see if anyone had any questions. Everyone's very excited. Jeff asked, he said, I think I got a good one. What's it been like to start working on this show remotely during the crazy pandemic times and then eventually get back to working in studio if you've had the opportunity to make the switch? If any of you want to talk about that.
This show, because that's the tricky thing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but we're still recording. I'm still recording this show.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
My initial audition was from home, and then from the test record onward, I've always gone into studio.
Oh yeah.
I record everything from home. That's the thing. The pandemic freed us up to go. Ironically, it caged us in, but it also freed us up to go where we wanted to go. And I launched north, and I've not looked back. I might I think I have some business in town in July, and I might end up, if we're doing something that week, I might do it from there. But yeah,
Nice.
otherwise I'll just be at Dave's pool. No, I love remote record. I miss everybody, but oh no, the rest of the other 60% of my day is kind of amazing. So yeah.
I still do a lot of stuff remote, not for X-Men, but for commercial stuff is largely from my booth here. But like, I love not being my own engineer. I am not an engineer. I'm an actor. Like, definitely let me go into Out Loud in New York and let June and Rodrigo do it. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, I will very happily go into studio and drive 2 hours or whatever if I don't have to be in my own hot booth. Yeah, they have air conditioning at the real booth.
Yeah. For me, it's been the social aspect. Like, I live in Long Beach now, so I'm anywhere between 45 to an hour and a half drive, tuned from the Burbank. And Yeah, for me, it's always like, well, is everybody else going to be there? Because if, like, if the director, if some of the writers, if there's going to be some people there, yeah, sure, I want to go in. But if it's just going to be just me and the engineer and everybody else is going to be on Zoom, it's like, gang, I don't need to sit in traffic for that. I can just do it from home. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, I think we're all still adjusting and as is the industry, just finding like what everybody's individual hybrid balance is. But I mean, that's true of everything, isn't it? Like everybody works in offices and stuff. Like, can you work from home?
True.
Do you have to come in 2 days a week? Like,
Yeah.
it's different for everybody.
One of the things that's really nice too is that now the tech has evolved to the place where we can have, like Ray and I have done a couple sessions where we're in the session at the same time, each of us from our respective homes, and it's really nice. It's nice to have other cast members there, even
And so
virtually.
you're remote, but you can do the scenes together.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
it's awesome.
I mean, that's not the best. The best is how we did Metal Gear, where we were
Yes.
all in a big studio together, doing it out like a radio play, and
I've
Yeah.
still never done that.
I certainly
Ugh.
missed that. But
Well, you asked for that, you made that happen.
I did. I put it in all my contracts that
You did.
that the whole cast would get to record together.
And that's thanks to X-Men, because when we recorded the first one, you hadn't written this yet. And then in between, well, you tell the story. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I did. We did Metal Gear. We did the first Metal Gear, and we recorded it all together. And then I got this ridiculous break writing the movie X-Men, and that was my first writing job. And then by the time, yes, thank you. By the time we were doing Metal Gear 2, then I was already a big screenwriter. I was working on the Hulk and Chronicles of Riddick at Universal, and they were like, "We need to do Metal Gear 2," and I'm like, "I can't. I'm a famous writer now." And they were like, "Well, we really need you to do it," and I'm like, "Well, it's going to be very expensive, and I want everybody in the booth with me, and to do it just like we did the first game." And so I was in a position to make some outrageous demands, and that was one of them, that I wanted to act with all of my friends, and it's better for performance, it's more fun, it's good all the way around.
That's cool.
It's better for everybody. Like, don't you want your project to be the best that it can be? Why don't you want this?
Yeah, totally. And and it makes sense that it's more affordable if people are just in their own booths and calling in, but and of course, you're working with talent at this level, they make it sound great no matter what. But there is something so great about being able to, like we used to do animated shows, we'd all sit in the same room and joke with each other, and the live reactions were really helpful. But
Yeah, it's awesome.
but it's not always feasible.
No,
Is that me?
Very cool.
it's looking good. It's looking good.
Thanks.
I'm just kidding.
I'm working on it.
Clearly
I'm working
Morph.
on it.
It's the balance between Morph being Morph and Voldemort and
Yeah, exactly.
and
Voldemort.
power.
when they asked me about it yesterday or the other day about creating Morph, I was like, really? I could just make any sim and say that it's Morph
Oh, yeah.
in a
Right, that's
different
right, yeah.
form.
It's kind of like I didn't know that there was a word for it until the fan event, and my friend used the word bounding. So like
Oh,
I didn't realize that that's actually what I'm interested in, because I love that it's that there's this creative way to sort of evoke this character but still look like you belong in this time and place, and it doesn't have to be full on cosplay. I mean, full
Yeah.
on cosplay is incredible, but
What is
what is
bounding
this?
mean?
bounding is when
It's kind of like cosplay, right? But not really.
Yeah, cosplay light.
it's
like,
a form
Yeah.
of cosplay in
It's
which
adjacent.
you sort of have pieces that look just like normal streetwear, but it's very clearly for those, if you know, like you can tell who's being evoked. There was a lot of Phoenix like bounding that I saw at the thing, where like this person looks like they just belong on the street, but walking down the sidewalk like you'd see anywhere, but I know that she's Phoenix because I can see what she's doing. This was
it became really popular at the Disney parks because as adults you're not allowed to like go in full costume, but some people like might come in like green shorts and a green top and maybe a green baseball hat, and it's like, oh, you're Peter Pan clearly, but it's light. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw when I was living in New York. I was living in New York for like 15 years, and I think one night I was in Times. I had the misfortune of being at the Times Square subway, like waiting for a train on Halloween, and
Oh.
but there was this cute girl just wearing like a nice like orange dress, and she had this blonde hair that she just had pulled at the top of her head, and just a little scrunchie, a little green scrunchie, and she was like this very cute, very subtle pumpkin that I was like, that's adorable. But also she's ready to just like go to dinner, go, you know, go to the party with her.
Mhm.
So I like this. And so The Sims, because you don't have because you have a limited number of choices, you can get close, but it ends up looking like bounding, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
That makes sense.
It's
Mhm.
fun.
Speaking of bounding, one question that was asked was for you, Holly. Jubilee, as you see here, as I'm trying to do her justice, she always has her iconic yellow jacket. Was there anything that you wore in the booth or even out in the world that makes you feel like a superhero?
Or cool things.
Yes, this is exactly
You
what
ever
happened.
bound as Jubilee?
I do not, but I did get a pair of sparkly sneakers, just these flats, to wear to my friend's wedding. And I think I knew at that time, it was maybe like a year into the process and maybe a year before premiere. So I feel like I knew that events, I did get them for my friend's wedding so I could dance and also have something shiny. But I did, I think, select them with the thought in mind of like, there are gonna be events and occasions where I will be using these anyway. And I
Yeah.
had my first signing event at QCon on Saturday with JP, and
Yay.
I wore them, so they're perfect for like, you know, they look cute, but they're also not like heeled sneakers that you have to then lug, you know,
Yeah,
later.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I had this T-shirt, Morphin Time, was done by
I love that.
this artist, Art of Lucas, and this is the second version. The original version he did several years ago that has like old Morph on it, like Morph's human head. And I bought that T-shirt before I even knew who he was or anything like that. And I bought it and I left it in my drawer. And I kept teasing it to like Meredith and Bo and like all the people that were, you know, in the session, be like, I have a T-shirt, and it is just collecting dust and waiting for the premiere. And it turns out like by the time that actually came along, I had already gotten this one. So
I will say
Oh my
in
god.
sessions, like before, you know, bounding out in the world, in sessions, the first time, again, this was my first time, it was during pandemic, and going in for the test record was the first time that I went into studio, like for any animation thing, period. And so I went to the test record not knowing that it would be via Zoom. Like I thought it was just they were going to hear my voice and we were going to hear each other's voices, and that's how it's going to be directed. So it was New York. It was like August. It was roasting, and I wore this Cowboy Bebop shirt that all of my my t-shirt collection is like wearing down. And so I kind of Marge Simpson it when she does that Chanel suit, you know, and she remakes it into like 3 or 4 different iterations. But so
Yeah.
I give my t-shirts new life when they start to get like, you know, tears and holes and stuff like that. I start to, you know, try to remake them and preserve them and cut them up into whatever. So this Cowboy Bebop shirt was like across the shoulders, so it was like a little sleeve and then this. But so yeah, and I didn't wear makeup, and I didn't do this with my hair. I just like had it like jammed up in a thing, and then I go into the session. It's like, oh, you are all looking at me. But then somebody I think it was probably Jake, was like noticed, and you couldn't even see below. You could see like just this much of a strip of what was on the shirt. But he noticed it right away. And he was just like, oh, Cowboy Bebop shirt. So I was like, okay, works out, it's fine. And then every day, every session after that, I usually have nerd shirts. Like I think one time I purposefully wore like an old Wolverine and Sabretooth shirt from like Hot Topic in the 90s or aughts. But I also, you know, I would walk in with like a Gundam shirt or like a Thundercats shirt or something, and it just always happened to be some sort of like graphic tee, because that's just my style. So they've started to like, when I walk into sessions, go like, okay, let's see the shirt. What is it today? A different like graphic sign.
Shirt of the day, SOTD.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool.
I'm talking. Sorry, go ahead.
It's fine.
Nice. I love that. By the way, guys, if you're just now tuning in, welcome to NAVA Voices. My bad. Um, we are very excited to be here today. We're talking with some amazing voice actors. We're playing games all day. Right now, we're in the X-Men Mutant Power Hour. And if you'd like to help, you can donate at the link that is in the chat. We're at 5,200. It'd be really cool if we could get to at least 5,500 before the hour's up. It'd be really cool if we could hit 6,000.
Yes, let's do it.
I mean,
hit
I'd like
that link.
9,700, but I mean, that's just me.
Right? Let's do 10. Let's do 10.
Let's do 20. Like, come on, guys. But definitely, if you can spare anything, we'd love for you to donate. It's all about raising awareness and raising money to keep voice actors and real voices and humans in our art and in voice acting, and giving people and voice actors control of their own voice. They got to head back to Capitol Hill, you guys, and that costs money. So please donate.
It so does. That's the thing, actually.
Very true.
NAVA's amazing. I mean, this organization, it's all volunteers. It's all people from our community who just stepped up and went, this is to stop. We have to do something. And NAVA's pretty amazing. I tell everybody on the site that I run, skillshub.life, that, like, join NAVA. Join NAVA. It's so important because what they're doing, without them, we would just be run over by technology and the corporate machine. We would just be annihilated. And what they're doing is they're standing up between us and annihilation, fighting back. And every single penny, if you can only donate $2, do it. It makes such a difference. Please.
It really does. Yes.
This preservation of the actors' like rights and presence and artistry in the presence of, like, you know, technology is only one of the many, many, many things that they do for voice actors. It's only one aspect of all of the work that they do. They do, you know, education and advocacy when it comes to bargaining and negotiating, and they have like rate guides because not everybody who is a member of NAVA is in the union. And so they're providing a lot of guidance that people who don't have union protections can use for themselves as they're, you know, on their own path in their careers.
And even health insurance.
Yes.
They provide health
insurance.
to
They
a
do.
non-union actor who needs health insurance.
Yep.
Or a union actor who didn't meet your health insurance, you can get health insurance through NAVA. So
Okay.
That was for health insurance.
That's for health insurance.
Yay, health insurance!
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think it's two thirds of the membership in NAVA. Well, 2/3 of the by their poll are actors who work outside the union. Because there's so much work that happens that is not the shiny object AAA or high profile stuff. There's so much work out there, and people don't know.
In particular.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like corporate narration and e-learning and regional commercials and all this kind of stuff that is out there, and they're fighting for those actors as well. Because there's some not good stuff happening in some of the things associated with the community. There are certain pay-to-play sites. I don't know if I can name names, so I won't. There's a very, very large one that for a while was pulling everybody's voice. When you sent in auditions, your voice was immediately taken and fed to the machine and could be stolen from you. And you somehow consented by sending in your audition. Like, watch your own back. And NAVA educates about that stuff. And NAVA is helping to put a stop to it. And we love them. So donate so they can keep doing it. Because NAVA is us. Like, NAVA is just us. It's just it's Karin and Tim and Sissy and Lindsay and Matthew and all those people who've just shown up and just started doing this because it needed to be done. And the least we can do is support them and send them a few bucks if we can at all. Yeah.
And when you meet these people, like, you know that it's just the purest form of generosity, because they're not getting anything out of it other than getting to you know, share with their community and send the elevator back down, you know. Karin is like, you'll ask some noob question and she will stop what she's doing in the middle of a conference and make a little video and be like, here's my setup for my travel rig and this is what I do, and you know, you can take these skills too if you want to, you know. Like, there's nothing behind it other than, like, I was in that place and I have answers now, so I'm happy to share those those accumulated answers with you.
And you know, that's so much of the culture of this business, though, this part of the industry. It's so like all boats rise together. There's enough
Yes.
for everybody. Open source living, like everybody really does help everybody else because there's plenty. There's plenty. Yeah. Mhm.
So since we're almost 15 minutes away from the end, let's do a mad dash donate moment.
Yes.
I don't
Let's
have it
do
with
it,
me
you
because
guys.
as I mentioned, I'm visiting Holly's house, but
Nothing in here.
I have a brand new Mondo Sabretooth figure that is like this big.
Oh
I
my
will
goodness.
sign it and send it to you if you are the last person to donate. So
Ooh.
get the donating going, like hot potato. If you're the last person holding the potato with the donate button, I will send my to
Let's
you.
do it, you
All right.
guys.
We have 17
Name on it.
17 minutes by my count.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay, JP. Do you have a picture of that thing? Can you put it up online and I'll repost it?
I will find it on the phone.
Find it on the phone, post it, and I'll repost it, and we'll get this out here.
Definitely.
Yes.
And for my chat, if we get to 5,500 at least, I'll drop a gifted membership in my chat on YouTube. So if you guys get us to 5,500 or more, let's get it more. But once we hit that goal, I will definitely be dropping a gifted membership in my own chat. So make sure you donate, hit that link, you guys. Yeah.
So this is
Tell you
this is what he looks like.
Oh,
Comes with all these different hands and all of that a different head. He comes with a little
Oh,
some
that's
accessories and
cool.
stuff.
Oh,
He's a
so
foot tall. He is
good.
like massive,
Yeah.
massive
Okay.
dude.
I'm gonna
Um,
throw. It's amazing. He's gorgeous.
and if you're wondering why, like in the series, like one of the characters that Morph turns into is Sabretooth, so he can wrestle with his BFF Wolverine.
Yes.
So
I will put this out there. Okay. We will figure out who it is. I think I can get this information through the fundraiser. I'm just maybe complicating this enormously, but for every $250 donation, I will record a voice message of your choosing for you up to 60
my
seconds.
goodness.
So you donate $250 between now and 5 o'clock. Between now and 5 p.m. Pacific time. I will personally donate. I will make you an MP3 and you will receive it. So we will figure out how to do that.
That's
and
cool.
actually, can we ask behind the scenes? Do we have a way to track who that comes from between 4:45 and 5 o'clock, so I can make good on this promise?
we do. They can
You
do
guys
that.
could have
Okay.
you guys could have Jean Grey as your voicemail.
can,
I don't
and
know
I'll
if people
do it-
use voicemails anymore. But
No. You can send a message to a friend.
Yes.
You can have it like as a recurring text. You can have it as your alarm sound. I will just record the MP3, and
Can I just
you
have
take that.
I would donate so that I can get my ringtone to say Scott.
I especially
I'll
would.
send you that
married
anyway.
Scott.
What? I'll text you that when we're done, Holly.
Brilliant.
I love that.
I think, hey, if anybody wants somebody like a voicemail of Goblin Queen breaking up with that guy that you don't like no more,
Oh yes, Goblin Queen will do that in a hot second. What were we gonna say, Dave? What were we gonna say?
Jackie, I'm not sure how. I don't want to overload the support people, but to the penultimate donor at
Ooh.
5 o'clock, I will print up the script to the original film and sign it and send it off.
Whoa!
Nice.
If
Oh
you guys,
my
if you guys want to
God.
know who that is and where to find them, I will send that off. To
I
them.
believe it
Guys.
shows on the back end. I don't know for sure, but from what I was seeing with the tech
did it
crew,
for
I
the
believe it shows on the back end like the top
NAVA.
donors. So
It's-
I
you will
think
have to tell me because I
think they'll we
can
have
write
the
movies,
chat
so-
going back here, and it says we do have confirmation that it will show on the back end and they can track it and they will let you know who the top donor is. So you hear that, guys? That's exciting.
you will
I
get
think this is
draft
what I have to offer.
156 of the X-Men.
That's
Oh.
amazing. So definitely hit that donate button, you guys. And even if you can't be the top donor, like Jennifer said, every single little bit counts. So Thank you to everyone who's already donated. And yeah, we have about 10 minutes left on this portion. Let's see. Oh, well, we were talking about different things and like NAVA and everything. JP, in addition to voice acting, you're also the founder of Queer Vox, which is the nonprofit academy for LGBTQIA plus voice actors, and you're also the co-founder of Nerds Vote.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about these organizations as well, and what has inspired you kind of to give back to the community? Because I mean, you're all over the place. You're helping everyone, and I think that's amazing.
Catholic guilt. No. Yeah. No. I'll start with Nerds Vote, just because we were part of the Day of Play
Yeah,
earlier today.
I watched that. I loved
Yeah,
it.
thank you. My good voiceover buddy and buddy in general, Courtney Taylor, and I founded Nerds Vote as the organization that gets congoers, cosplayers, comic book readers, gamers, and pop culture fans of all kinds, aka nerds, registered and voting every election, every time. So we're nonpartisan, but that's our whole goal, is just making sure that people get out to vote. And make an informed decision. Yeah, we've been doing this for 5 years-ish now. Yeah, and today we were celebrating Free RPG Day with a custom Nerds Vote one-shot, which is now available on our website, and you can play it yourself. You can win custom-made Nerds Vote dice, and all sorts of other stuff. But above all, we just encourage people to visit nerdsvote.com, where you can get registered, make sure your address is okay into the voter rolls, register for a mail-in ballot, all sorts of stuff. So that's Nerds Vote. And then Queer Vox is the nonprofit academy for LGBTQIA plus voice actors. We offer classes, we have an online talent directory, and we also do industry advocacy to educate people in the industry, whether they be writers, casting directors, agents, about how to best work with and represent queer voice actors and ensure authentic and diverse representation in voice work.
My friend Emily Zeller says hi, by the way.
Oh, Emily, I love her. Well, and we also and when I say voice actors, Queer Vox not only works in animation and video games, but as Emily does, works also in audiobooks. She's an amazing audiobook instructor and narrator, and has also taught for us. So yeah.
Very cool. That's amazing.
Am I correct that I think Nerds Vote might be responsible for one of the most powerful and entertaining members of Congress to emerge in the last few years? Katie Porter? I thought I remembered you guys down there, or Courtney was down.
Well, we're nonpartisan.
You're nonpartisan, right?
Right.
You got people out.
I, as private citizens, knocking on doors for Katie Porter, yes. Or we as Nerds Vote, no.
Thank you for the clarification, and I just want to thank you personally. I find her presentations to be extraordinarily powerful and entertaining.
Anybody that works with a whiteboard, I'm usually on board with.
Oh my God, I love her in the whiteboard. It's like, does this add up? What? No, just answer the question. It does or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And these corporate executives are like, she's like, it's math.
I was told there was math.
I love that.
I was told there was to be no math.
Oh, sorry. I did not mean to mention that.
Yeah, I didn't say that wasn't in my contract. I wasn't here for the math.
I was
Can't do
told
it.
there would be punch and pie.
Right.
Yeah.
We're in the
Well,
last
let's
10
see.
minutes, and I didn't bring anything before when everybody was talking about all the cool things they can offer. But I have one of my posters. So the story behind this poster is, in a super fast nutshell, I reached out to this artist in Spain whose pen name is Danny Parker, and I loved this piece from the beginning. I had a bunch printed, but then I was like, oh my God, I want this in holographic. So I had both. I had the plain and I had the holographic, but when faced with both, nobody goes for the plain. It's all holographic. So I'm not going to offer these anymore. So you can't get these. You won't be able to get these in person or anywhere. Really, the only place to get one is if you're the next person to donate.
Yes.
I will send you this, and I will sign it if you want me to.
Awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, I'm not somebody who like people have asked about like how can I get you to mail this or can I send you something and you send it back to me. I'm not doing any of that, so this is also the only way that you'll be able to get me to send you something. So,
Well, there you go. Donate, you guys.
I'll just hold it.
Mhm.
I love
There
it.
you go. Screenshot.
Yeah.
Right?
With
Right?
with just
So
a
much.
few minutes left, we'll finish out with a really lighthearted question, okay, you guys? So this is the last round. Everyone can answer. If you had a superpower yourself, or if you, I'm
Okay.
sure you guys get asked this all the time. If you had a superpower or a mutant power, what would it be and why? Why would you choose that?
Changes based on the day.
Yeah.
It's always the
Mine's
same.
all dorky. Mine's super dorky. But it's a superpower.
Hey,
I
we're
want.
all nerds here.
No,
I
it's
can
not
say
even
that.
cool enough to be a nerdy one. It's just a super sincere, overcaring one. I want the ability to like have people to like touch a button and people can instantly stand in the shoes of someone that they have a beef with, you know, or that they hate, and so they
Oh.
can instantly understand what
really
it's like
deep.
to be the other
That's
person.
not dorky.
That's awesome.
I'm that nerd.
They could call you
Say,
Rebeef.
like I want to know
Yeah.
why.
What'd you say, David?
They could call her Rebeef.
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 Well, because when you actually understand where somebody's coming from, you can still be really mad, but you can't hate them anymore.
That's true.
So when you really
Mhm.
get it, you're just like, God, it just pisses me off, but I get it, and that really pisses me off.
I
Yeah.
think her name is Wendy because her whole thing is "Where's the beef?"
That's right.
Talking about taking it back to the 90s. Did
Right?
that
Yeah,
campaign start in the 90s? Yeah.
The 80s.
The 80s.
Wait, my hair's brown again. Yeah.
I usually say teleportation, but now I think I have to come up with something a little.
I like teleportation.
I like
No, I wanted to
Everyone
fly, but
likes
now
Go, go,
I
JP.
would probably say because you could do a lot of different things with this molecular restructuring.
Dr.
Ooh.
Manhattan.
It's like basically alchemy. You could turn anything into anything. So like you could take all of the trash in the world and turn it back into its original like
Ugh.
elemental parts, like
Damn.
that type of
That
stuff.
would- yeah.
What a perfect superpower for Morph.
Yeah,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Also, how Storm's first costume like fit. I just remember her being like, "Oh, and the fit, perfect. How do you do this?" And it was because Franklin Reed had Rex Reed? What's the dad? No, Rex Reed is a different guy.
Yeah.
Franklin Reed
Some
had
reveal.
like designed this thing where like this fabric where molecules would just sort of slip. They were just non-stable, so any costume could fit perfectly.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that
Nice.
would be cool. That would be nice for any kind of clothing. Just slip it on and it fit perfectly.
I usually say communication with animals or control over plant life because it would be nice to like, maybe you can whatever control over plant life is very vague and I can just use it to like not kill my houseplants, but also you could use that to feed the planet and
True.
reforest, like fight deforestation and grow.
Trap your enemies.
Or just go full poison ivy and have like
I
piranha.
Yeah, someone said in the chat, just don't become poison ivy, Holly, as you were saying that.
Do become poison ivy.
Mm. Dave, what's yours?
Be
Long
two
term
things.
I always wanted to be able to fly, but that's not terribly altruistic. So
No, you don't have to be altruistic. I'll fly.
No, I want to be altruistic. So I think maybe I would manipulate time, and you'd be able to
Mm.
do fun things and go forwards and backwards. But you could also, if something horrible happened, you could go, undo it and say, "How
Oh
do we
my
avoid
God.
this?"
What's that
You
show
have
I just
different
watched?
powers.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, yes.
Yes,
I mean,
I love that
not,
show.
not that guy because he could only
Yeah.
go back a minute, and it was horrible and lame. And,
He never did it right. That was the best
but
thing.
if you haven't watched Extraordinary, I think it's on Hulu. It's hilarious. It's all
It is
about
hilarious.
People with weird powers. And
Yep.
What about
You guys?
Jackie?
Oh, about me? Well, I was gonna say teleportation as well, because I love to travel and I live like part-time in LA, part-time in Texas, so it's like I wish I could just go back and forth really quickly. But man, you guys went so deep. I don't know. I don't know what to choose.
Teleportation works.
Yeah,
you can teleport
the
to someone else.
talking to animals and plants, like that's why I play like a druid bard in D&D. So like I'm all about that. Being able to create like food and water, I think would be really cool. To be able to help the world, hopefully. I don't know. That would be a good one. But I think we are
We're right
I think
up
we're
against it.
$160 from hitting 5,500.
But everybody's waiting until the last minute to get.
Yeah,
I know, okay.
everyone's like, I want to be the last one.
Go,
Yeah.
go, 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 go.
The last
Um,
You know, you can always donate twice. You could donate,
Yes,
and then
it
it
is
goes in-
true.
Just another
And if there's
$5 gets you as the last one. You know,
Anything I ever learned from like
Exactly.
trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets, like don't wait to the last minute. You never know
That
if
is
the show's gonna
true.
be in your favor
You
or not.
gotta get in there quickly.
Mhm.
That's why you set up the prize for the last person who donates.
Oh, yeah,
and the
but,
next
like-
person.
yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, we're at $5,352, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, whoever takes us
Oh.
to 5,500, come on.
Let's go.
Well, have we
you-
had any $250 donations?
I think we have earlier in the stream, if I'm correct.
In the last 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't know.
Whoever
Let's
takes
see
us to 5,500, y'all give you that recording.
Ooh, you guys. You
That's
better
one
donate.
donation.
And you
Maybe
can
two.
click that link in the chat. It just got dropped in the chat, and it's pinned in my chat. So if you'd like to donate, it's really easy. It's a Streamlabs link, and you can go there and donate. Let's see. No $250 donations in the last 15
Okay,
minutes.
so that's up for
as of
grabs.
this
Whoever
time.
takes us
Yeah.
to 5,500, it's yours.
We're very close, you guys.
Wow.
So
We're
close.
gonna be wrapping it up soon, so I just want to say what an honor
Yes.
it was to be hanging with you all, such awesome people, and thank you to NAVA for the amazing work that you do, and thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, Nava. And thank you, Jackie. Thank you, everybody
Oh,
behind
thank
the scenes, all you people
I
making
was
this
honored
possible.
to be in the room with y'all.
So fun. And my cast members. Woo.
Yes. You guys are amazing. Go watch X-Men 97 if you haven't seen it, you guys.
Yep.
It's an amazing
Yep.
show.
Your
And
Sims
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's see the Sims things.
Oh,
Oh,
God, let's see
yeah.
him. Let's see him. Let's see
yeah.
him. Okay, we got
Okay,
another like
so
40
I,
seconds left. Let's go. Let's
yeah,
go.
we got like 20 seconds left. This is what I kind of ended with. I didn't do
Okay,
her
I love it.
her superhero form. I did more of her like,
Yep, her
becoming a
hanging out at the
mom
mansion.
form. Yeah,
Hanging out at the mansion.
exactly.
Yeah.
I kept him in the alien. I kept them in the alien outfit a little bit.
Yeah.
I just thought that was more fun because
This is
in The
very
Sims
board
you can
queen.
make them an alien.
Mhm.
So
Now we
I
have
think Morph
JP's
could
Halloween
be
get up
this.
going on.
Mhm.
And then we have Jubilee in her
Yes.
yellow outfit and her glasses. So
Love
that's
it.
the final ones of those. What I can do in the short amount of time.
Nicely done, Jackie.
Thank you. And
Thanks,
thank
everybody.
you guys for being here. Thank you,
Yeah.
Nava. Make sure you guys donate and stick around. There's lots more to come. There's Valorant, Fortnite, and it's gonna be a fun time. We're streaming here until I think 10 p.m. So thank you
Yep.
guys. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Nava. Yes. Woo! Thank you guys so much.